my name is Amy and I teach at Yoga Grow in Fredericton. At our studio we do offer a prenatal class, but at this time we have no real specific class for postnatal, so I would like to outline a few things that might be a good idea for you as you recover from your childbirth and as you move into a lifestyle where you are nursing and holding your baby, so your chest and your shoulders will often suffer a bit from that, or that might be the place that you find tight as you, again, change your lifestyle. So this is meant to really bring the legs back to life and help your pelvis and your abdomen feel lively and engaged again after you have your baby. And it's also to open your chest up, so I really hope to accomplish both with this video. So, enjoy your practice. You'll start on the floor or on your mat, just in a really strong mountain pose. Think of using your legs as the powerhouse here, so feel all of your toes hit the floor, then almost feel this suction, this drink-like pull up of your arches, that very inseam of your feet. That inseam is connected to the inside of your shins, so you pull that thread, that line up. And that doesn't stop there, you pull up through inner thighs and up through navel. As much as you feel that life in your body, you let your tailbone go down towards the floor, down towards your heels. So practice that on its own, just have this lightness, this buoyancy in your upper body, your spine, but huge amounts of work in your legs. The feet drink strength up, all the way to pubic bone. And then as if to argue that, or as if to match that, tailbone goes down. Find that basic strength here. And then imagine, it takes a lot of imagination to keep the inside of your body strong, so the thighs that turn into the abdominal strength. Act like the legs don't want to abandon center, that like they want to reference and stay in mountain pose. As you bring your right leg off the floor. In addition, bring your arms up. So you take your first balance pose, and then here's the opportunity to really feel if you know what that left leg, that base leg is doing. Your big toe is heavy, the inside of your leg moves way up. The right inner thigh feels engaged, like it's trying to hug against the left one. And there's still this fight, this counter strength of the right hip hauling back. Also known as your fish hook, that ability for the outer hip muscle, the glute, to hold your thigh in good alignment. Of course, your body would have changed so much throughout that time carrying your baby, so it's good to really bring your legs back to their center so that they can support you. Your toes are flexed, even in that foot that is elevated off the floor. The whole thing is mindful and imaginative. Come down with tension, so you're fighting the air around you. Your toes might spread out. You can get this active brush of your heels against one another as you come down to mountain pose. That same amount of imagination pulls you up on the other side, so we'll alternate left to right. So on my rise, I'll feel a little shift left and right throughout my ankle, but I'll work on a really lifted, alert right shin, right inner thigh, and then it's this magnetic strength of my left thigh to behave like it's still centered. The fish hook is here, so there's a grounding back as well. My left toes are splayed and I work hard the whole way down, like I'm being fought to land my foot. This is a great exercise. I call this cloud breath. I do it all the time. It's good when you're in a hurry, but you want to bring yourself back to center mentally, and also to really feel your muscles hug your leg bones. So that can create a real fire in the body if you commit to doing that. Continue to alternate. I'll keep my right leg up. And then create this little basket, this latch with your hands, hang onto your knee or just below it. Here you can refine. I'll splay these right toes, almost act like I'm putting my foot on something, almost standing on a stool. That's how alert the lower leg is. Then your hands help to create that fish hook. Push your hands into your shin, let your shin push back as your right hip naturally goes into place. You might have noticed that my chest gets wider, so you get that dual action, that benefit of opening your upper body as you very much muscle and ground your lower body. My toes remain nice and splayed. My left big toe, my base foot is heavy. Reimagine or reintegrate that feeling of the left arch of your foot drinking strength up. Maybe that lift, that avoiding gravity can make your head lift up a bit higher. So you believe in that effect throughout your body. And in your postnatal practice, you are about holding strong things. You don't need to do a million poses. Do something like this and do it well. And then the whole way down there's tension as my fingers loosen, but these right toes are splayed as they return to their mountain pose. Float the left leg, toes are splayed. Add the latch of your hands, this basket-like shape. And then use that for something. Push your knee into your hands. Let your hands push back. So there's a fish hook that snuggles that left thigh bone deeper into its socket so they can be held up very productively and very well by your left glute muscles. Your belly lifts up. Perhaps you vision a hook there as well. Land with tension. From here, let your arms reach up as your feet push down so you find your first extended mountain. You can allow the shoulders come up before you fix them down and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Take advantage of horizontal space more than you might normally as you pull your belly up and lean your sit bones back and wide. And this is your horizontal. You reach your fingers, you spread your chest. Your belly stops you from going into your first forward fold. Soften your knees, roll into chair. Your hands splay so you come up the way that you came down. You reach wide, you reach high. And the thighs are behaving like they would for your mountain pose. So think of the arches of your feet drinking up. Your shins strong, your thighs together, this hook up of your guts, a resistance of your tailbone down. From here, from these bent legs, send the left foot back. So you find your first standing crescent lunge on this side. Allow the left knee, the back knee to soften as you shoot this left hip crease towards the front of the room, and also this vertical of sliding this left hip tissue up. Like there's a pass off of stretching the left hip, then lengthening the center line of your belly all the way up through your chest. This hook-like effect that slides up. To add on the feeling of stretching the front of that left hip crease, squeeze the left glute max, the big cap, the big leg extender for that back thigh. Really squeeze the right glute med, so that's the fish hook here. If you think about this crescent lunge, it's like what you had done with the right foot floating off the floor, but now you've got the floor to work with. The change is minimal, the expression is big. And again, not a lot of poses, but a lot of really finding them and making them work. If you do feel tempted to straighten that back leg, first feel that your tailbone is down, and then work it from that left heel. And there's your slightly bigger crescent lunge. For your shoulders, let your palms face the front of the room. Let your wrists bend on the way as your palms point out straight in front of you, so just at your chest level. Just like you're capable of hooking the right hip back, that suction-like feeling, that happens in both shoulders. So haul them into your body. To find your first warrior pose, really personify the left hip crease, that open hip like it can see and look forward. Keep it looking forward, so essentially keep the left hip rolled in as you slide into a warrior two. Don't worry about depth, just think about this left hip line staring and turning forward, this right thigh turning slightly out. So it's not a big warrior two for me, but it's a strong one. And then prove the integrity of the back leg as the left hand and the left heel start to travel, and you just come back to your crescent lunge. Hip crease faces front, shoulders shrug back. Do that a couple more times. Swipe the left hand out as your left heel lands behind you to really feel alive here. Pull the left underarm, the left rib side of your body up. And then do that again. Find a spacious crescent lunge, so get the hips really under your body. Pull your head up. Flatten the wrists. From your pinkies, cut your arms out to a T. Flip your hands up. Let your chest feel wide open. Your hands stay on this horizontal, then you come again into a strong warrior two. This time for more alert upper body, lace your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back and down. Left hip is still steering forward. Shoulders pull back and down behind you. Chest is spread. Fling the arms out. Now you just circle the hands into a forward fold. Pick up the back heel. Slide that foot forward. Roll the chair. Then from bent legs, from that feeling of zipped shins, zipped thigh bones, hop the right foot back. You land in a place where the back knee is soft. Hook your tailbone down, feel like the right flesh of the thigh bone slides up. And then just like on the other side, there's a moment that's very right-sided dominant. But then you lengthen everything from center as that passes over to navel, passes over to chest. So you have this very tall crescent lunge pose. Your tailbone stays down. Your right hip still looks forward. You can express the right heel back. Not much has changed, but you might find more depth there. But you're looking for strength, not depth. The hands come forward. It's this observation of plank-like arms. Shrug your shoulders into your body. Tailbone stays down. Hips stay under you, essentially. You want a short warrior two, so your right hip still looks forward as the right hand, the right heel begin to surf out. So it's just this subtle landing of the back heel. This resistance, this drag and strength from the right ribcage, the back edge of you, holds you up in warrior two. And you practice what the body can do to bring you back. As your hand surfs up to the side, the back heel picks up. The thigh bones have this attraction towards center line. The hands are really spread and alert. A couple more like that. Work your hand out. And then bring it back through center. The right hip again truly looks forward, so don't lose that. Flatten the wrists. You can flip your palms as you widen your chest. Take yourself to warrior two, so the right hip is still forward, your heel lands. Palms flip, roll your shoulders open as your knuckles go down. The right kneecap squeezes up. This right hip is still sliding forward. There's this real contained feeling. Fling the hands out. And then let the back heel pick up as you work your way into a forward fold. Then roll your way into chair. This time, keep the chair moving as you push your hands forward. Sit your hips back a bit farther. Land your hands on top of your knees. Let your chin tuck in as you round into what feels like a cat pose. Then stick your sit bones out as you move into what feels like cow. Get a couple of movements like that. Pelvis very aware of its own tilt and the way that that redistributes the whole spine line. When your hips are tucked down like mine are now, my shoulders are rolled in. When my sit bones are wide and apart, my shoulders also are wide and apart. Make that connection within yourself. The next time you cat the body, stay there and allow yourself to dangle further. I'll add a shoulder opener. Let your arms stay heavy as you roll up. Memorize the up slide of your thighs, your shins, the downward fall of your tailbone, sorry. Right arm goes up. Hips stay square as that hand travels in this half circle. You get to a place where you're in a twist and you're reaching down and behind you. Spread your fingers, lengthen the arm more, and then straighten the hand back up. We'll stay continuous when the hand hits the front of the room. Bend your wrist, tuck your chin, roll all the way down. Your knees will bend. Your sit bones will widen apart at the bottom. Roll right back up. Sit bones practically narrow together so that your tail will go down. The left arm flies up. You take a big circle to that side, hips still very much forward. Your arm grows longer as you stretch down, as you circle back up and over. Once the torso returns, tuck your wrist and your chin, roll yourself down. Do one more on each side to really animate and exaggerate your chest. Roll up. Sit bones narrow in, tailbone goes down, right arm shoots up. Reach your fingers so that you can spread the whole arm line and therefore the chest. A very long circle to come all the way back and over. Chin and wrist tuck, you roll down. And then last time to match that whole thing, both arms dangle on your route up. Push into your feet, narrow your sit bones together so the tail goes down, the left arm goes up. Circle yourself wide and back. Reach for the floor before you make your way back over. Chest really open. Tuck chin. Let your arm carry you back down into your folds. And you can just roll into a flat back pose. Have very generously bent knees. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Drop your head, soften the back leg as you dangle your arms and you roll up. On the way, you're already stacking everything. The left knee is bent. There's a vertical and uprising feeling in the left thigh. If your tailbone will stay down, you can again straighten through your heel. It's the big muscle, the glute muscle, that holds this left thigh bone in place. Smaller glute muscles pull the right one back. Lace your hands up above your head, push your palms towards the ceiling, elbows are really tight. Use imagination to feel the left hip still looking, still eyeing forward as you very simply steer the left heel towards the floor. Fling your hands into a very short warrior two. Lace your hands behind your back, roll your shoulders open, really pull your knuckles down. Stance doesn't need to be big. Fling your arms out yet again, straighten the front leg. Again, that repetition is worth it. Your left hip is rolled in and forward. Suck the right hip into your body as you stretch long. Back heel, left heel is planted. And then take triangle pose. Just bring your hand to your right shin. Spread your left fingers as you reach up. The cue of narrowing your sit bones in is huge here. So feel like you're supporting your tailbone. For a side body stretch, first drop your hand to a horizontal and then slice that arm over your ear. At this point, your hips stay exactly the same, but your spine, your chest might be more generous, more big in their space here. As your right armpit gets strong, your left armpit rolls open. With very strong feet, soften the front leg. This time take a reverse warrior. You feel the right thigh bone drop down, but the right hamstring catches it. Slowly to a forward fold. The back heel picks up as the hands windmill. Feet step together with bent legs. Flat back. Continue to the other side with both knees soft. Hop the right foot back. Then the back knee gets soft. Your head falls. You roll up. To sequence into crescent lunge on this side, you reach out wide. Your right hip really pushes forward. Your stance is modest. Lace your hands. When your palms go up, it pulls the side skin, the side muscle of your body up. You're determined to keep this right hip forward. You're strong in the right heel as you open to your warrior two. A circle keeps happening as your hands lace behind your back. Your shoulders roll open. You really force the right foot down, the right hip forward. And then from this finger tension, you fling out again. You straighten the front leg. The vacuum, the existence of that left outer thigh muscle is huge as you jut forward. Torso and arm are long. Left hand goes down, right hand goes up. Squeeze this underside of your body as you throw that right hand higher. Narrow sit bones, very protected pelvic basin. Perhaps the side bend. Arm can move somewhat lazily to this chest level before it strictly strikes over your ear. Hips and legs don't change, but torso can move up high. Gaze down to soften the front knee and then swirl the top arm up to a reverse warrior. Heavy back foot. And then to a forward fold. And you can end there. You can take ragdoll or whatever fold you'd like. On your exit, you roll up and out. Maybe widen the chest again.